Alright, so I was going to wait till day 90 to do this video, but I think I'm just going to do it now. One, because I want a topic for today, and two, it's still a good bit of time away from day 90 on it, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. So, for those that probably do know, if you watch the vlogs, I've been practicing intermittent fasting. So I'm going to go ahead and make a video on it, how I feel about it, how it's impacted me, give you the goods. How is it going for me? So, I actually learned something recently. I actually learned a couple things about it. I haven't done too much research on it, which I probably should have, but this is something I actually got into through religion, and then eventually I wanted to start incorporating it into daily practice, and it's actually been amazing for the most part. So, intermittent fasting, if I'm saying this right. If I'm not, I don't give a fuck. But, so, what is intermittent fasting basically? It's when it's at its basic form, it's really just skipping breakfast and waiting till a certain time period before you can actually eat your first meal, right? So, for example, you know, a lot of us would get up, get dressed, go eat breakfast, get up at 7 and whatnot, get dressed, shower, clean ourselves, go eat, right? You wouldn't eat. I don't eat at the morning time anymore. Matter of fact, I don't even eat. I normally wake up anywhere. It's been really inconsistent lately. I wake up anywhere from about 5 in the morning to about 7:30 in the morning. It goes between those times. It's very fluctuating. I don't use an alarm. And plus, I'm not even gonna lie, I've just been lazy about it. Not a good thing. But from the time that I wake up, I don't eat until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, decently long time. And I don't eat after, usually, after 10 o'clock p.m., I'm not eating at all. So, that's usually how it goes. And I've been practicing that. Now, at the beginning of the fast. So, first I'll tell you how I got into it. So, first off, most of y'all don't really know my religion. I don't really subscribe too hard into it as, like, this is my indefinite. But I uphold to a lot of the beliefs that they have, which is the Baha'i. For those of y'all that don't know, Elliot actually introduced me to it. So, that's what got me so intrigued about it. Where really, the big belief is that all is one. God's mission is to bring all together as one. And at the beginning, I kind of looked at it like, you know, oh, yeah, this is really cool. Like, you know, we should all be one. And I kept thinking of it from a global standpoint, when really, you know, it goes so much deeper than that. And when I got into spirituality, it really started to have much more meaning to me. When I decided to take up the religion, I realized that they had a 19-day fast. So I was like, oh shit, this is interesting. Okay. So when I got into the religion, unfortunately, it was after the fast. But I wanted to do the fast regardless, right? The fast happens in like, it ends on March 20th. It ends on the day of the spring equinox. And it's the 19 days before that you do the fast. So what it is basically, from sunrise, you cannot eat, you cannot drink, all the way until the sun completely goes down, right? That's when you're allowed to eat. It's the same thing as Ramadan. It's just a shorter time period. The only difference is there's a couple other things that Ramadan makes you give up that we don't necessarily have to. From what I know, I could be wrong, but so that's how I got into it. And I remember like how, like, when I did it, it was so fucking difficult, dude. Like, trying to resist eating and drinking was so hard. Like, I remember, like, just going through each day, like, just not even, really, the hunger was the easy thing to beat. You know, after day 3, I was like, good, you know, it didn't even affect me that bad. But the water was the problem. That, man, when I cut out water, it was so difficult just to try and take that all the way. Doing that for 19 days was really difficult. But my experience with it was very interesting. Not having all that food and water in my system. Because, you know, what typically happens is that when your body's digesting, you know, it's using up energy. And what I noticed personally, just for me, is that whenever I'm digesting something, it tends to actually slow me down, right? Whenever I'm digesting something, it slows me down. As opposed to right now, empty stomach. I haven't even got water yet, to be honest. Kind of, actually, have I? I don't know. I don't think I have. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm lying to y'all. I don't know. But, right? Empty stomach, I'm clear. Like, I'm good. I'm ready to go. Like, when I don't have all this food in me that's trying to digest as I'm trying to do all this other stuff, it doesn't slow me down as much. And one of the reasons Mike Rashid was actually bringing up is because when you have, and Elliot Holst was bringing up something similar, where basically you have all these food particles in your body that you're refeeding to yourself, and your body's taking all this time to break it down using all the stomach acids and the digestive muscles to take that process, which is taking up energy while you're trying to do all this other stuff. So in a sense, it can slow your productivity down in comparison to when you're not eating. And there's a very interesting thing that Mike said. I'm going to talk about it later, about how the hunger affects your mindset. So that was really cool. So what I noticed is that really started to play into how everyday attack, though. I actually was a lot more productive. It was very similar to the way I treated NoFap, right? It was very similar to how when you know, like when you do NoFap and, you know, all of a sudden you cut masturbation, porn, and orgasm out of your life, you're like, fuck, you know what to do. What do you got to do? You got to go start doing stuff. You got to go just get on a fucking walk. Go write a script. Go do anything. Do something productive, right? Same thing for intermittent fasting. And that is one of the big reasons. That was something big. So, you know, when I was on the Baha'i fast, I was doing as much as I could. You know, and I've done this 2 times. And next year I'll be doing it again for the 3rd time. And what I might actually do Ramadan on my 4th year. So I might try and go for the full 30 days. That's going to be, whoo, man, that's going to be hell right there. But what I noticed was that because I was so empty stomach, I was able to just slam my day out. With that hunger, you know, I was doing everything I could to take my mind off of being hungry. You know, I did, you know, so that hungry, what Mike Rashid said, hungry stomach drives a hungry mindset. It links together. And that's fucking facts right there, dog. When you're hungry, you almost, for me, it's almost like I go into this hunter sense where I just start doing everything I can. And it was something interesting Elliot brought up. He's like how eating has just become entertainment. You know, we don't really eat when we're hungry. We're just eating whenever we feel like it, you know, just to give ourselves some pleasure and whatnot. We're not really eating because we need it. We're not eating because we need to survive. So sometimes just cutting food out of your diet for a little while. Sometimes, you know, you're just getting out for about 10 hours a day. You know, if you're like me, you go 18 hours a day, right? You might even have some people try and go 24 hours, like 24 hours once or twice a week. It's actually pretty fucking ridiculous, right? But it's so interesting to me how, because I remember thinking this, when the hunters and gatherers, you know, back in the prehistoric times, right? You know, they didn't have all that food readily available. They had to go out and actively search for it on that hungry stomach. You know what I'm saying? That really drives you to, that right there alone is what's going to drive you to attack, make sure you get your food. You know, it becomes almost like survival. Same thing with intermittent fasting is that I apply that to my work and it helps, you know, when I'm doing a YouTube video, when I'm doing my Instagram post, when I'm doing anything involving film, right? It links and it makes me go ham. I remember that during the Baha'i fast, dude. I just went ham. And I remember and this is probably one of the biggest one, some of the best workouts in my life were on a food and water fast. Some of the best workouts in my life. I'll never forget them, dude. I can remember them clear as day, dude. Empty stomach, no water, and I'd be working out like a fucking beast, and I'd feel great. That was the thing. So I really started to mess with that a lot as I got so that was one reason. Those reasons I remember as that went down into the high fast, I was like, dude, I need to start taking this into everyday behavior, and I did. So I started going till 12 o'clock in the afternoon, right? So I'd wake up, I'd go to 12 o'clock in the afternoon, then I'd eat, and then eventually I upped it to 2 o'clock, and now I upped it to 3. Eventually, some days I even go to 4 or 5. On days that I'm filming, or if I have a microfilm that I'm going to shoot, and I don't and it's happening later in the day. Like, for example, one of my shoots took place at, like, it was a night shoot. Took place at like 7, 8 o'clock at night, right? Yeah, no, it was like 6 to 7. We didn't finish till like 8, 8:30, right? I didn't eat that whole day. I didn't eat till I got home. It was like 9:30. Right? I wanted to stay fasted for the shoot because I knew by being in that hungry state, that was going to allow me to work harder, as opposed to if I had all this energy working to digest as I was at the shoot, it wouldn't have really worked out as well for me. So I just like driving that hungry mindset more and more, you know, keeping it there. Also did the same thing for another microfilm that I had. It was around 5. We got it done at 6. No, yeah, we started at like 5:20, got it done 6:20 about, and then I didn't eat till like somewhere around like 7, because we were hanging out for a bit, fucking around. I was getting some like sound effects, and then then we decided we wanted to go meet up somewhere, and then we actually ate. And then that was the first meal I had that whole day, so that was really funny. But yeah, like, I nail it. What, you know? What the fuck? So yeah, that's one of the big reasons I started to bring intermittent fasting into my life, is because I knew that I could really bring like an animal and a drive out of me that, you know, could really be taken advantage of, you know? So it's really just like, I just wanted to do something that was gonna give me more, and intermittent fasting was the way to go. Because when I remembered how it was during the Baha'i fast, I was like, dude, if I can apply that into everyday behavior, two big reasons I do it. One, because of that, because of the drive and the energy, well, the drive and the productivity that it brings out of me, and then 2, just the daily discipline, just like NoFap, you know. And that's the thing, like, both of those things give me the drive and productivity to just go in so hard day in and day out. But not only that, it's a discipline. It's just sticking to it. It's not letting it get the best of me. It's not letting and urges have been bad lately. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, they've started, well, not bad, but like they've been picking up, you know. I think personally it's just because my brain is trying to chase after some dopamine. It's trying to pick some of that shit up. It is what it is. But I stay disciplined. I stay on top of that shit. It doesn't beat me. I battle it every day, and I'm disciplined enough for it to not take me over. Same thing with you know, intermittent fasting. I have the temptation to go eat food sometimes. Sometimes it smells really good in the house when my sister's cooking something, and I'm like, damn, you know, I really want to eat right now, but I can't. I gotta wait. I gotta, you know, and I make it a mission that you know, whenever I'm intermittent fasting, I never sleep, I never go out. As a matter of fact, like, you know, it's the opposite. I don't do intermittent fasting to necessarily lose weight, which, by the way, it works. When I was intermittent fasting, it was actually, like, recently I took a progress picture from August when I wasn't intermittent fasting to now, right? Because I started intermittent fasting, like, late August, right? But that photo was taken early August. I remember, you know, I still had a pretty good amount of fat on me. I was probably like, if I'm gonna be real, I'd probably estimate like 14% body fat, maybe. Now, since I've been intermittent fasting, I'm just judging this off of appearance. I don't know for fucking sure. So before anybody wants to get at me for that, just know I'm guessing here. I'm probably now at 12 or 11 body fat. Percentage. 12 or 11% body fat. I would guess. Maybe it's impossible to lose it that fast, but being that it's almost 90 days, I think it's perfectly possible. I had, for the first time, been able to see my abs visibly without having to flex. I had been able, like, and I mean in a good shape, you know what I mean? So being able to see that was like, this is working. So it definitely works. Now, some people might ask me, okay, so how's fasted training going? So here's what I want to say about fasted training. There's no real benefit from what I heard. I actually looked at Shredded Sports Science and Every Damn Day Fitness. Shout out to both of them, actually. They were saying something that intermittent fasting doesn't act. There's nothing that actually. I used to think this too when I would intermittent fast. When I started intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting. Okay, that, you know, you tap into the fat storage cells and then you'd use your fat as energy instead of the carbs and all that stuff and whatnot. And I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. But then there was something else that was brought up. I don't remember specifically, but they said there's no actual fact-based evidence that actually happens in the body. And they say the basic real element behind why intermittent fasting works is because you're just eating less. When you're skipping meals, it lowers the amount of calories you can actually end up consuming in that day. So it's very easy to achieve caloric deficit, being why you lose weight, not because you train fasted. Training fasted or non-fasted doesn't really matter. Personally, I go fasted because that's when I get my best workouts. Like every day I train fasted, and almost every day I train fasted, and it feels fucking great. When you're that hungry, dude, like I always train the hour before I'm about to eat. The last hour before I'm about to eat, right? Because that's when you're the most hungry. You're like, I'm so close to my meal, and then you just pound it the fuck out. I mean, there is just something about that, being that last hour and grinding it for that fucking meal, dude. It's like, you know, there's just something that clicks in me every day when I'm doing intermittent fasting, and it works. I really like the way it impacts me. Intermittent fasting is definitely the fucking truth, man. So, unfortunately, I would like to talk more on this, but this is all I can really say for now. I'm just gonna wrap this up really quick because the video is almost up on timer. So, intermittent fasting, it's a daily discipline. I'm trying to build more discipline. It gives me a lot more. It brings out a lot more drive and productivity out. Brings a lot more drive and productivity out of me within my days. You know, it puts me at a caloric deficit each and every day in order to drop body fat percentage. Now, of course, you probably look at me like you're skinny. Like, well, would you have any body fat? Yeah, I would actually. You'd be surprised. And then, yeah. And of course, yeah, just eating less and keeping in that caloric deficit. Those three things really benefit my day. They work out for me. And eventually I want to do 24-hour fasts throughout the week as well. We'll try those. So, you know, I'm just trying to work it. I'm trying to get better at it. So I just wanted to share y'all my experience with intermittent fasting lately. And, of course, if y'all want me to make another video on this, which I probably might, I for sure will. Bless up. Hopefully this video gave you some value.